Hello again, Michael Freeberg here from beautiful North Carolina. Today I'll be reviewing another shave soap as well as a pre and post shave product, and I'll be using a razor which of course is very familiar to many, which I've had and not used in a video before. So we're going to get started today with the pre and post shave. It's a sample from that same kind YouTube viewer who passed on a variety of Myrsol products, including the liquid shave. This is the Myrsol Antesol, which is a pre and post shave product, lightly mentholated. It has a scent which is vaguely the same as the Formula F. So you can use this as a pre, which I'm going to do today. Just rub it in. It's called the Antesol massage. So pre and post. So I'm just going to rub a bit of that in. Yeah, it's interesting. This to me it smells like a mix between the Myrsol Formula F and the Limon. Go figure. Lightly mentholated. So we'll use that as a pre. Today's shave soap is going to be the third from Abbate Y La Mantia. This is another saffron-based soap from Italy, made by Chung Fung Sing. If you haven't seen these before, this one is the Laureato. So this is a laurel-scented, laurel fragrance, it says on the container. We'll talk about this in just a moment. I will show you what it looks like. I have a fair amount still pressed into the Captain's Choice bowl, loading bowl, the lather bowl thing. It's white, slightly yellowish maybe. Certainly much different color than the Cremiro from last time. I'm going to be using my rod Neep. This is the first rod Neep that I got, this beautiful olive wood hourglass. Now I somehow screwed up this knot. When I first got this brush, I was soaking it in the apothecary mug with a puck of soap in it. And I put some hot water in there, I let it soak in there with the soap while I was showering. And the knot itself is still completely solid inside the handle, but the brush has been shedding hairs for quite a while. And Rod Neep has taken a look at this. The knot itself is fine. I just think that somehow I've damaged it by soaking in that hot water along with the soap for 15 minutes or so before I used it. So don't make the same mistake. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start loading up the brush. As you can see, I have quite a bit of soap in here, so I'm going to give this a good heavy load. I've seen some interesting threads lately about people who are really still having difficulty lathering, and it always comes down, to my mind, to two very simple things. One is not enough soap, and then, generally speaking, not enough water. And when you hear people describe what they're doing, it comes down to the fact, I think, that they're swirling in this very light, barely touching kind of way, maybe because you're trying to make the soap last longer. There's really no point to that. You need to get enough soap really loaded onto the brush to get a good lather going. Yes, it may seem like you're wasting a lot of soap or going through the soap very quickly. Soaps generally last a pretty long time, and they're not expensive at all. Well, depending on which one you buy, of course, because some of them are very expensive. All right, I'm just loading. You can see again that bowl is filling up. For the person who thought I was actually bowl lathering, I am going to do that in a future video. I will actually bowl lather, but not this one. Now you are going to see during the shave hairs come out of this brush. Don't panic. I know that that's the case, and I'm just going to keep using this brush until, well, I can't use it anymore because the knot itself is wonderful, and I love the shape of the handle. See, every time these huge clots of, well, anyway. So this is just the third in a series from Abbate Y La Mantia, and the laurel scent is slightly sweet. It has a little overtone of what I think is camphor, but which to me smells a little bit like almond or marzipan, but there is no almond or marzipan in here. But there is kind of a sweet overtone to it. It smells good. It's not overly sweet. It's not perfumey. It just has a very nice, even perfume to it. And by perfume, I mean scent, not a perfume as in a perfume. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of water to that. like the previous two. This is, again, very easy to lather. Feels great on the face. Good protection, good slickness. All right, there we go. Nice. Yeah, really enjoying these soaps. The scent on this one is fantastic. You know, laurel is obviously known for a variety of medicinal benefits, including things like treating skin irritation or razor burn. Some claim that actually helps foster hair growth. It's been used medicinally for a long, long time, so that's something to think about. And I know that for some people, these oils or these essential oils can irritate your skin, so that's just something to think about. Okay, today's razor is a razor I've not used in a video before. It is the beautifully styled classic Edwin Jagger DE89. This was sent to me by Edwin Jagger with a variety of other shaving products. I've used a few intermittently. They'll be making an appearance over time, so I just have like still a mountain of stuff to go through. Beautifully chromed, classic design. The head design obviously is being cloned all over the place, and for good reason. We'll talk about the shave in a moment. I do want to mention though that this handle is completely smooth. There is no texturing or knurling on it other than this very minor design element at the bottom. This handle is unfortunately rather slippery. So if you have an option when you're purchasing, I would highly recommend getting the one that has a bit of texture to it. Wet is not as much of a problem. When it's wet and soapy, definitely slippery. Now, I think one reason that this razor is so popular is that you could describe it as average, but I don't think that's really the right word. I think what you're really talking about is the fact that the razor is almost perfectly middle of the road in a very positive way. It's not mild, it's not aggressive, it falls just in between there. You can feel the blade a little bit, but not bad at all. It's comfortable to use, but it's not overly mild. It doesn't have that sensation like nothing's happening when you shave. Generally feels very safe on the face. I completely understand why, for many people, this ends up being, if not their first, maybe one of the last razors that they buy, because it just really works very well. All right, I'm just wiping off my hands and the handle because if you rinse it in the soapy water, it gets slippery. +2 days worth of growth, brand new Voskhod blade. Yeah, the only issue that I have with the razor, besides the fact that the handle is, I think, a little too slippery, is the fact that the corners on the head are very pointed. And there are moments like, for example, here, if it digs in at all, you're going to feel that point, and that for me is a little uncomfortable. What I'm talking about in terms of the points, it's just the end point. Is just that piece right here is very pointy. Yeah, you do see people regularly post the fact that, you know, when they were tightening the handle onto the head, that the thread has snapped. And that's just a matter of over-tightening it over time. And if the chroming is damaged at all and water gets in, then a Zamac will get brittle and get brittle very quickly. So avoid over-tightening it. All right. Pass number 2. And just lovely creamy texture to the soap. Smell is absolutely still there, does not fade during the shave. Kind of a combination of a sweet, slightly herbaceous scent to it, Not grassy, but herbal, much as you'd expect from something like bay. I've had no issues with skin irritation, but again, it is one of those oils that apparently you may well have a sensitivity to, so just watch out for that. Yeah, and just really bummed about this brush losing those bristles, but there's very little I can do about it. I'm just going to keep using it until it falls apart enough that I can take the knot out more easily and then replace it with something else. Maybe another badger, maybe a synthetic, I don't know. But the handle is fantastic. Okay, across the grain. Yeah, this has been one of those weeks where I've had to sort of mix and match products. I was out on a trip, attending a technical conference in Atlanta. If you were at Ignite, sorry I missed you. So I was traveling with the synthetic brush and a mix of two different aftershaves because I did not want to go through that Antesol too quickly, so I'd have enough for today's shave. I like the scent. I don't think I would choose the Antesol really over something like the Formula F. It's been good, but I don't think it's the sort of bubble to the top of my Myrsol list there. And I've used quite a few of those actually. I was surprised. I was posting in another forum post about just running through the list of the ones that I used, and in fact I'd forgotten about one, which was the Agua Balsamica, which is also a very nice herbal aftershave. All right, let's finish off this part here. You know, this is one of those razors. There's nothing extraordinary about it except for the fact that it is just a very well designed, simple, and very effective razor. It just falls into that beautiful sweet spot. But I think for a lot of people that maybe purchased a lower end razor to begin with because you weren't sure about the money, you didn't want to overinvest in something that wasn't going to work out for you, then trade up to something like this. This is a really good razor to trade up to. There is a slight overhang to the head. So that's just something to bear in mind. Okay, pass number 2. Now, as you may remember, by the way, after my last shave, I had a bit of skin irritation over here. You can see that is much less, and it does tend to come and go. I don't know if that's as a result of the laurel, but this is the only soap that I've been using for those 2 weeks. So if that's an added benefit, fantastic. I've generally not had to use any kind of post-shave balm. Of course I can, and some days you just feel like it, but in general, skin has felt very good post-shave. Bit of aftershave, Barrister & Man, the Reserve Cool, or the Antesol for the past 2 weeks. All right, plenty of soap in there for the third pass. I'm just going to pull out a bit from the bottom there. You can see how nice and thick that is now. Lovely, lovely lather. Hope for those of you that haven't been able to get your hands on this that you're getting good shaves as well. There's a couple errant hairs I can feel sort of poking up when you can see them there. That's what happens, you know, 4, 5, 6 hairs, but the knot itself is just, it's fine. And I think it's mostly hairs in the, more towards the middle of the knot. Okay, rinse off my hands again. Yeah, and this, the fact that the handle gets slippery that easily, okay, that is something to bear in mind. All right, let's. Yeah, taking a good look again today at the hair growth here. I don't know if this is actually what's happening, but it sure seems like more of the hair around here is starting to grow out as opposed to down. It grows down in the very middle, but it really seems to be turning more like that. So I'm trying to adjust for that. Nice and smooth, easy over the skin, no drag. Yes, the Jagger razor certainly is a better razor for that spot, for example. Less friction, just feels better on the skin. But this Edwin Jagger DE89 is doing a great job as well. As always, I like to buff on this pass. Soap is offering a lot of good slickness and protection still. Yeah, so here, we're gonna have to do a bit more of a mix again. Yeah, right there where the hair is really at its thickest. Little more of a struggle with this razor than with the slants, for me. Shaving cream in the nose, not pleasant. There we go. This part right here is for Darren Webster, who loves watching guys shave with no lather on their face. Still with a bit of moisture, very good slickness from that soap. But like most soaps, once you've shaved over it and that slickness is gone, it's gone, and that's as it should be. Yeah, wow, beautiful, lovely smooth shave. Of the 3 soaps I've used so far from them, I think this one is actually my favorite. Really been enjoying it. I love the scent. I like the way it makes my skin feel quite a bit. The slickness and the protection have been excellent, as with the other 2. Have to say, I certainly appreciate the sort of the more food or herbal scent profiles. Next up will be the full saffron one, and that'll be in a couple weeks. Oh, that just feels so good. Beautiful, beautiful shave. All right, let me go ahead and towel off. Now, the other thing to note, by the way, is that when I do this, I am not being rough, because it may look it, but generally speaking, I like to dry off in the direction of the hair growth. I try not to rub against it. So that if you do have any kind of irritation, you're not just making it worse by rubbing it too vigorously with the towel after the fact. That works for me. I don't know if that's what might work for you. All right. Lovely. See, right now my skin feels good. Now, there is something else to note about this shaving soap, by the way. It has like a slightly oily feel to it. Like there's an additional layer to the soap. It doesn't feel greasy, but it's like it has a little bit of extra oil added to it, and it almost feels like as if you're using a very light amount of pre-shave oil as you lather up, and now as you rinse it, you can still feel it a little bit. Very, very nice post-shave feel. All right, another application of the Antesol pre and post massage. Give this a gentle little shake. I'm going to use a little more than I did at the beginning of the shave. Alcohol based, so there is a brief little bit of tingle. That's also in part with the menthol. Oh, warm your hands up a little bit. Wow, yeah. Smooth, well hydrated. Really enjoy these Myrsol aftershaves. Very simple ingredient list. Yeah, a mix of the Formula F and the limon. It's a very light sort of a citrusy scent to it. Really quite nice. All right, let me cap that off as my face cools off with the light menthol application. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. That was another fantastic shave. So let's just cover the products again. Today, appearing for the first time in a Friedberg video and has appeared in countless others. Beautiful Edwin Jagger DE89. Like I said, a middle of the road 3-piece razor. Only issue I have with this design really is how slippery this particular handle is. Get one of the ones that has a bit of texture to it. It shaves in that perfect sweet spot. Not mild, it's not aggressive, it's efficient, but it doesn't feel like it's taking off too much. It's like some of the other razors that are very efficient where there's a bit more blade exposed, just taking off a lot of hair and maybe a bit of extra skin. Not the case here. Easy to use, nice balance to it, feels good in the hand. The handle is not too thin, a nice weight and balance to it. Overall, really a very, very nice razor. And if you have a lower end razor and you want to bump up to one, that is a wonderfully safe choice. And that doesn't mean that you're being overly safe or too cautious. You're getting a razor that is absolutely time proven. And that's one of the reasons why that particular head design is being so frequently cloned by so many other manufacturers. The design is fantastic and works great. So no issues there. Today's soap, the Laureato from Abbate Y La Mantia. Saponificato con zafferano. Another saffron-based soap with, as you can see, floral fragrance. Another wonderful soap. I'll show what it looks like inside the tin. A lightly yellowish color, still very soft, as with all these soaps. So far, this one is my favorite of the 3 that I've tried. Of course, raw Neep, olive wood hourglass with a badger knot. My fault, and I feel terrible, but I'm going to keep using it until that knot just is no longer usable. Just a wonderful razor. Lathered in the Captain's Choice bowl, followed off by the Myrsol Antesol pre and post massage. Clearly this is not the bottle that it comes in. It comes in the normal Myrsol bottles, which themselves are fantastic design. Well, I think that's it. I hope you guys are getting some fantastic shaves as well. Really appreciate you watching the video. If you have questions or comments, of course, as always, please feel free to leave those against the video. I try to get back to those as quickly as I can. Thank you again so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.